Well, welcome to Monday night. We're going to do a quick training as we are getting here close to the end of August. Couple things, shout outs. Way to go, people working. Haley, it was great working with you at the Pregnancy Help for You and taking care of the names and numbers and scheduling the events. We will be doing some scheduling calendars coming up. Toya, way to go, just staying out there and loving people and working back and forth. Heather, as she's watching back, I don't know if you guys saw the posting. She went out walking with her Mary Kay t-shirt, saw some people she hadn't seen for a while, and ended up selling a Voluform set because it reminded them that she was in Mary Kay, because, you know, people get forgetful what it is that we do for a living. So just another one of those affirmations for being a part of that. I know Haley and Amy and Haley are back in school teaching. All of us as parents, you know, our kiddos are back in school. So great things on that as well. So we're going to go over a couple dates of things just so that they're in your mind. Those of you who did the fall PCP, that was what you paid for last month. That's what you paid for in July. They are most definitely hitting mailboxes now. Okay, yes, Haley's showing hers. So if you did PCP, make sure you are doing phone calls and following phone calls or text messages, following up with these people that they saw their books, they saw that there's samples inside, that they get to be a part of that they keep hearing from you. So that is on everybody's to-do list right now. What are you doing to touch base with your customers to just see how that they are doing? We get to order the new 3D sets. We get to start ordering the new 3D sets. I believe it's Friday the 25th. I think that's the right date. So the Friday the 25th, you can start ordering the new skincare sets. For those of you who still have old 3D sets, couple things. One, of course, you can run a special so that they can, you know, start on that and then get the new set for their next set. But I am also not completely stressed out that I still have some current sets left, because how many of you have ever had people call and say, hey, do you still have this after something else new has come out? So I'm not saying don't have 12 sets of it, but I don't need you completely stressed out if it's not also all sold out. So this, you know, this might be one of those times that calling some of your customers that are on parts, offer them an incentive to get on the full set. These are people that on your notations, you have seen that they were kind of interested in skincare. Well, are they interested if you give them, you know, give them a discount to get on the first one, and then we can move them into the second one as that comes through. You know, get the stuff off your shelf. Think about it. How many times have you walked into Sam's, Target, Costco, Walmart? They're offering samples. Well, you guys do know that the things that we're sampling is something they are trying to get off their shelf, right? We understand that, right? They are sampling what they are trying to move. So, and it usually works, because sometimes, I mean, we don't buy it all, but there's some of it that we do most definitely like. So that's how we get to find out stuff about that as well. This is the month that you are qualifying to come to retreat with Julia. Last year, star catchers were not the most numerous at the retreat. Let me just assure you, we were not. Understand, last year, the group that went to retreat, of the group that went to retreat, we had 2 girls that walked across the stage receiving their Queen's Court sales rings. We had 3 of them, Princess Court. Also had 3 people become red jackets for the first time out of that group of 16 that went to fall retreat. All of us know that sometimes it's just being in proximity, hanging out with people, those of us who have been to seminar. It is just that extra juice, that extra boost. It is in Louisiana, so it is about 4 hours away from us. Those of you with kids and jobs, it currently is scheduled from Friday night to Sunday after Sunday noon so that you're home. But I will tell you, qualify and make it to as much of it as you can. Does that make sense? So like, Haley, you don't get off school in time. It's really not convenient until you would leave early Saturday morning. it is way better that you get there Saturday morning than to blow off the whole weekend. Does that make sense to everybody? So I am saying what we are doing for rooming. We are getting some Airbnbs to help lower the cost, and just have some more chilling girlfriend time in between. So as I priced out the hotel, hotels are horrid in Ruston, but we did find Airbnbs that if we divide it by the number of beds, most definitely cheaper than being in a hotel. So that's where I'm encouraging you to come stay with me to be a part of that. So I just want to make sure those dates for October for the retreat are October 27, 28, 29. I'll be real enough. I am still working on the logistics of my actually being there on Sunday, but that doesn't mean that I am not going. It doesn't. It just may mean I have to leave early because I have a big thing to do on our church on Sunday. So just please qualify. Please be there. What does it take to qualify? In August, they're doing 2 team members, 2 signed team members for an $800 wholesale order. That is our qualification during the month of August. That basically, that's helping you show that you are intentional as we are trying to move into leadership. We are trying to move into Mary Kay being our full-time income, or at least not full-time income, a bigger sizable amount of your income. Because if you're doing an $800 wholesale order, that means you guys have done somewhere between $16,000 and $2,000 in sales. You know, that's $600-700 in your pocket profit. I don't know about you, but an extra $600-700 profit a month never hurts my feelings. Do I get an amen from anybody else? $600-700 extra never hurts anybody's feelings. Okay.
Amen.
Okay. So grab your calendars, and then we're going to do some other stuff after that, but I want to get some dates. So I just told you the dates of retreat, July, October 27, 28, 29. This Saturday from 2 to 6 up in Keller, I am part of a sip and shop. So if anybody would like to bring their guests, would like to help work that with me, Saturday afternoon, 2 to 6. Sunday afternoon at my house at 1:30, we are doing a skincare class. Back of the hands and people enjoying it. They're here at my house. At 4 o'clock, we're doing an eye clinic. So Haley and I both have guests from our event, and so they are here. As some of you may have heard, we were having an issue finding a venue kind of between us that didn't want to, either that it wasn't going to be too noisy, or that they wanted us to pay, and we decided that my house would work just as well. So people come into my house. The big thing with my house, with us bringing in extra people, we need to have people that are actually coming and doing products. So as much as you guys all know I love children, my house isn't exactly childproof. So no, my kids are all big. So my house isn't childproof, and we all have to deal with Dakota, the dog. So we are asking, unless they're lap babies, they're coming to actually participate in the class. Okay, I definitely know that toddlers and young adults, my backyard and my house is just too overly tempting. I know that them sitting in the house, staying at a pool, that is just cruelty on just a whole nother level. So we're not playing that game. So just to kind of let you know, that's the only thing this weekend. Hopefully we'll have the house full of guests. I will have munchies. I will have wine and snacks and things like that. If you guys want to bring some snacks with you, of course, I never turn down other people cooking. So I will be honest about that. Okay. Next Tuesday night, the 29th, is the big Waverly, is the Facebook live party that Julia does for us. If you have people that would like samples, I need those names and addresses absolutely no later than Wednesday, especially if they're anywhere outside of the Metroplex. I don't want to take a chance of us mailing these and then everything showing up after. So if you have guests, yes, I have all the samples to mail. I just got to know who we're mailing them to. So that is next.
So that's the 29th?
That is Tuesday night, the 29th at 7:30.
Okay.
Okay. This Wednesday night, we're doing a Zoom class that they are going with, that larger group that I did the Zoom classes with. We're going over the new 3D products. So we're going over the new skincare products on Wednesday night. So if you or your guests, once again, I'd invite guests with us. I'd invite guests with us. They can either fall in love with the new stuff, or totally, if they're in love, I would even discount the old stuff and say, hey, do you want to jump on that right away, or do you want to do this one for a discount? Both are legitimate offers on that. And then Thursday night we have a sharing opportunity with the Nationals. So just to let you know, there we go. That's what I have for
The 24th Thursday.
Yep. So Wednesday and Thursday this week, virtually, all of this is posted in the Starcatchers group. Okay. All of this, you're gonna see one post for the 23rd and 24th. You'll see another post for the weekend, 26 and 27. And then Julia posted the party on the 29th. That is a whole separate Facebook group. So we actually invite ourselves and our guests into that Facebook group. So it's no filters necessary. It's a whole separate group. Julia keeps putting extra tips and tricks in there. So they're still our customers, but Julia's trying to give extra love to them. So the event on the 29th is in a separate Facebook group. It's not on our groups at all. Okay. Any questions about any of that? Good. Okay. Whew. Turn to September and then just take a big deep breath. Okay. Can I just say that? Whew. Here we go. Saturday, September 9th, 3 to 9, there is a craft fair here at the Birdsville Fine Arts and Athletic Center from 3 to 9. Whenever I'm announcing these, yes, I would like your all's help. Yes, I would like your help. Is there any other way for me to say that? Yes, I would like your help. I'm going to be there. It's more fun if you come. As I was, Haley was with me on Saturday, and I said it was way easier when there's more than one of us, because then when you get busy and you have time to actually sit and talk to somebody, and you don't have to worry about the other people walking by you. So that is an evening one, 3 to 9 outside. On September 16th, it's Fall Fun Fest in Keller. I believe that one, I'm coming back on that one time, but I know it's that day. I believe that one is also like a 10 to 4, but I'll get back to you, but there is that one during the day. Rich, on the 23rd, I have Richland High Senior Fest, once again at the Birdsville Fact. That one also is an evening event. I'll come back on times. I just need kind of some big X's on those dates. And then on Sunday, the 24th, Keller's Health Expo from 1 to 4 up at Bear Creek Park. Okay.
So you
So
had
those are
skipped
weekend
the
events.
24th and went through the 26th for the senior event.
I'm sorry, the
Right.
23rd is a senior event. Saturday
The
the 23rd is
The
Saturday
senior
the
event.
Saturday
Okay.
the 23rd for the senior event, and then the health fair is Sunday the 24th, 1 to 4.
Okay. And what's the one before that one?
The Fall
The senior-
Fest up in Keller,
Right. Okay. What day was that?
the 16th.
The 16th. Okay.
So basically, I have something every single Saturday minus Labor Day Saturday.
Okay.
Okay. There, as a rule, every Wednesday and Thursday, there's always going to be virtual events. Okay. It's part of one of the reasons I work with some other directors. Every Wednesday, that's where we do the Kate Spade events. That's where we do the skincare events. That's where we do the color events. Every Wednesday night, kind of a given. And then Thursday night, they hear about some products, but it's also a chance to re-fall in love with the business and just layer people. So, Haley, I'm going to pick on you. Some of those girls that we were talking that were kind of sort of thinking, but not totally thinking, they didn't know for sure. They're perfect people to invite to Thursday night events because they get to hear a little bit more. I mean, all of us have been in Mary Kay. We know that Mary Kay is more than helping people wash their face. Obviously, that's part of it, but it's also the camaraderie. It's also just a whole lots of everything. And so that's the part of that layering that happens on Thursday. They also give away free e-starts on Thursdays. So if somebody says I'm in, there's a possibility their name is drawn and then they get their $30 reimbursed. So, I mean, hey, let's even go for a cheaper start. Okay. So just to let you know, that's kind of a given. So that's September. October. I have Tuesday night, October 17th. I have the Sip and Shop in Keller for the Keller's Women's Club. That's a happy hour, so that's more like a 4 to 9. And then I'm doing a pop-up in Keller with one of the boutiques on Sunday the 22nd, 1 to 4. October, I don't have as heavy yet, but wait, we're not done. November, these are ones I want to get on your guys' calendar and I want you to start thinking about. Saturday, November 18th, and I believe it's the 18th and the 19th, they have the Keller, the Christmas in Cowtown down at Will Rogers. So this is the Will Rogers, you know, the big Will Rogers. So one of lots of vendors down there. We are the Mary Kay people.
Okay. That's my birthday too.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe you want to spend part of it, maybe not.
Mine too.
Nah.
And I'll be out of town in San Antonio.
Okay.
I already know that.
When is your birthday?
The 18th.
November 18th?
Yeah.
Oh, we have the same birthday, girl.
There you go. So yeah, I'll be out of
Okay,
town
well,
celebrating
okay,
the
you guys
90th.
you're gonna have to pull on some of your non-November friends for that day, okay?
But I may work on my birthday. That might be good for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then the following weekend, 25, 26, we are in Grapevine. So that one's at the convention center, same thing. I missed one. November 4th, we are at my church, Peace Lutheran, which is by the Northeast Mall. We have a craft fair there as well. So as I was saying to Haley and Toya, I've said to you, find your schools. This is, I mean, seriously, I've been doing some serious scrolling on Facebook, looking under events, seeing who's there. Our goal is to get our toe in the door for these events, because usually once you're the Mary Kay person, they ask you first the next year. Does that make sense? So, but there's only one Mary Kay person. So if somebody already has their toe in, it's not us.
Okay.
So as I'm saying, this, I mean, as you can tell, I am booked through the end of November. These actual November ones, the big one, Cowtown and Grapevine, I think I actually paid for those back in April. Because I know they're big, you know what I'm saying? But these other ones, watch for, most of the high schools have craft fairs. A lot of your churches have craft fairs. I mean, what's the worst they're going to tell us? No. Okay, it's not like we haven't heard that word before, but that's how I got, I mean, it was, what, 2 years ago, right, coming out of COVID is when I got in with this girl at Richland High School. And I mean, the girl does like 3 to 4 craft events in a season. And now, like, if she has an event, she's calling me. That's how I'm finding out about other events. Does that make sense? So basically, some of this, sometimes find some other craft people that you, or not necessarily crafts. Sometimes there are other people that are in other direct selling companies. The relationship that I have found with some of these other small business owners, direct sales, they're the ones who are telling me about these other events. But I also reciprocate that if all of a sudden I'm going someplace and it's like, hey, do you have a cupcake person? Or do you have a 31 person? Do you have a Scentsy person? I'm also coming in with value added that I'm not just coming in, I'm coming in saying, hey, you need some more spots filled. Well, then I'm calling some people and help, I help my business friends get into other places, but I'm also helping these people who are hosting these events get other vendors. So guess who they like to call? Does that make sense? So as we're starting to do this, make sure that we're going in value added. Making sense? Making sense? Cool. Okay. That's so much helpful so far. Okay. The other thing I'm going to remind you right now, we are at the end of August. Well, most of the way through August. How are you doing on your holiday plan? Remember, Julia talked to us about our holiday plan, the holiday season. How are you doing talking to other people about that you could help give out corporate gifts? It could be that you're just talking to your nail salon that, hey, do you want to thank the people in your nail salon that they're either thanking their customers or they're thanking their nail techs? Okay.
I literally just went to the nail salon and brought my nourishing oil and lotion, and the nail salon was considering buying the nourishing oil for cuticle oil.
Perfect. Okay. So getting your toe in the door like that. What other vendor events? I mean, do you guys want to do some other vendor events? Because understand, I've got plenty of stuff. We can divide and conquer and be in multiple places and still have very nice displays. You guys all have stuff as well. We have stuff to supplement each other to make sure people have stuff. Does that make sense? Okay. What are you doing? What else are you doing how are you doing for booking parties? Are you trying Facebook parties? Are you trying, are you inviting people to virtual events? Have you found a place local to you that you can be doing in-person events? Haley, just because Haley, sorry, I'm throwing you under the bus, but you came up with, she goes, okay, I think what I'm doing is I'm going to try to do a vendor event one week, and then the next week working on that I'm doing my in-person one. So I'm tagging off that I'm scheduling. This is how I'm looking at my schedule. I have time to do my in-person here, that like most people, it is not her only job, so that she needs to put her blocks, but she is pre-planning her blocks. So as we're going out ahead into this and we're out meeting people, she can also be plugging people into these future events. Does that make sense for everybody? Haley and I, just because I'm learning it, last week, Haley and I did a Facebook party that we're doing some of the posts. She's also in another direct selling company that does a lot of direct selling posts. I'm not saying it was my most successful event, because it's not, but learning curve of finding people that there are definitely people that don't have time to come see us in person, but they will talk to us and learn about the products on Facebook. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I am curious how that event went whenever we get a chance.
Well, yeah, I'd have to say, big thing about Facebook. So let's just kind of do a pause. I got a couple minutes that we'll talk about this. Might run a couple seconds long. Things I'm finding out about Facebook parties. The biggest thing is your hostess or your other person. So they need to be as engaged as you are about what's going on in that event. They need to purposely tag people in the post, because anybody else's Facebook feeds have like way more things than you could possibly see, right? But if you get tagged, it comes up on your post and you're more likely to see it. So like, for instance, when we make the post about the eye makeup remover, purposely tag Toya or purposely tag whoever, a couple people that you want to see it, because that engagement also helps. Because the parties that I was working with, that I had people actually sitting there making comments, tagging, the person working with me that was like excited about doing the event, excited about making the comments, they were getting sales. The people that were, hey, let me see how this works and were watching passively, they didn't get as many sales. Does that make sense? So, but I'm learning a lot. I will tell you that. I'm learning a couple new programs so that, you know, for me, that's good. So I appreciate people that are willing to try these parties with me. But a Facebook party is not going to be any more successful than an in-person party if we don't coach our hostesses, if we don't coach our people to actually show up for it. It's just a different, I mean, same demo, I mean, it's the same thing. Just how you're gonna, the power, in my opinion, the power of us using our Facebook parties is to think about people that are not close enough to drive to. So who does your people know that it's not convenient for you to drive to? So Toya, for instance, do you have people that have friends up in Denton? I mean, you're down in Mansfield, driving to Denton, not that you can't, but that's a commitment. Does that make sense?
Right.
So if all of a sudden you have people who have friends in Denton or people that are out in Weatherford or over in Garland, okay, it's not that we can't actually drive there, but think people beyond that. I mean, people who are in Arkansas, you know, part of me says is how much fun would it be to actually, you know, work in your customer group and say, hey, tonight we want to do a party. We want to thank all of our friends who live in Arkansas. Who do you know that lives in Arkansas? And then we kind of do, you know, kind of like the alphabet thing. And then, hey, this month we're picking on Arkansas. Next month we're going to pick on Alabama. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to say. But that way we're giving them a target of who we're actually looking for in that Facebook group and giving them a reason to say, oh yeah, I know somebody that lives there. As opposed to, yeah, invite all your friends. Okay, Haley, what other questions did you have on that point?
I guess it's something I need to ask you individually. I was just curious how the party you practiced with me went.
Got it. We can go through that. Okay. The last thing I want to remind you of, tracking is your friend. Tracking is your friend. Tracking is your friend. Tracking is your friend. What is your sales goal for the week? Is it $200? Is it $500? Is it $100? Whatever it is, I'm going to go back to the basic way of tracking. We have the great tracking sheet on the Dual National Area. Use those. Or simply, if your sales goal is $500, take your notebook, write $500. I love it when I have the virtual background. Write $500, and then every time there's a sale, subtract off of it. I will tell you, every time I track my numbers, they change. Every time. I'm not saying I don't get sales without tracking, but I guarantee I get more sales when I track. You know, hey, you guys watched me at the end of June. I seriously needed 10 people because I wanted to finish my beat. Guess how many new unit members I got? 10. How many have I gotten this month? Because I haven't exactly put that intensity out there. Haley has more than I do. Yeah, gonna have to fix that. Okay, so does that make sense to everybody? So if you can be parts of events, remember every Wednesday, Thursdays we have virtual events. This Saturday, if you can be a part of the Sip and Shop up in Keller, let me know. If you can come on Sunday, 1:30 for skincare, 4 o'clock for eye makeup. Yes, I would love to see you, but I also need to know that you're coming, please. And your guests. If you're coming, seriously, Toya, if you can come, I would be using I don't exactly know what my director's up to today, which would you come with me to her house?
Okay.
You know, you don't have to act like the expert. The goal is to get them in the door. The same as inviting people Wednesday night. Hey, I don't exactly know what's going on with this new skincare stuff, but would you please come and watch it with me and give me your feedback? You know, offer a little bit of a bribe, you know, if we've had our time. Okay, I'm at 7:33. I tried my best to keep you at a half an hour. Other questions before I take you off? If not, quick grab your phones for me, please. Quick grab your phone.
Okay.
And I want you
Okay.
to put it into selfie mode. I want you to turn your camera. I want you to look at yourself. Yes, you can turn off the mic because I know that's hard when I say it. So if you want to mute yourself during this part, that's fine. Then I can see your lips. Okay, you're going to talk to the girl in the mirror. Ready? You are awesome. You are blessed. You are highly favored. You have a purpose that no one else does. This Christmas will be different because you are showing up differently. This business will change my legacy, my family, and my income because I am blessed and highly favored. Thank you, ladies, for showing up. Love you guys to the moon. Text me, call me, let me know if you guys have questions, and we will talk to you later.